we need to start treating ourselves like someone we're trying to help. And not so much just helping ourselves out, but being a friend to ourselves. I feel like a lot of times in life, we live it, void of our closest companion, void of the person that can be with us 100% of the time, and that is ourselves. I feel like a lot of times we disregard the influence our own appreciation and own, contribution has on our life. It's one thing to just live your life day to day and try to look for pieces and parts of yourself in the outside world. And when I say that, I mean a lot of times what we're lacking inside, we seek out. So, it's always an internal world becoming external. It's always a way you are inside that's reflective in what you do and how you move outside. If you feel like you need appreciation, you need validation and attention, you're going to try to seek it elsewhere from other people outside events. And I think people don't realize that those are things that they can give to themselves. Not saying that it has to be them 100% of the time, but to say that, some of our issues, if not most of them, are caused by inadequacies and insecurities that we have inside. And me and my brother were sort of talking about this, not yesterday, but, like if you don't have any insecurities, ideal world, then nothing really can affect you. Once you realize that nothing is inherent to you, once you realize that, certain things won't serve you and certain things aren't for you, then you have all the time and all the patience and all the perception to just move past it and focus on things that actually do have to do with you, i.e. yourself and your desires. The more attention we allow to come back into ourselves, to come back into our vicinity, come back into the things we can control, the things we have our hands on, the better our life will be. The more fulfilling and more intimate life becomes. Because all the time I'm on my phone, every time I'm like I'm right here, but I'm on my phone in a way. Like I'm wasting my time, my presence, my ability to act. And this is when I'm not doing stuff having to do with like what I want on my phone. Like if I'm just on TikTok mindlessly, I come to realize that, I'm sitting here doing nothing. I'm wasting time when I could be putting it into something else. And the same thing goes with when we focus on like the past and the past events, things that have happened to us, or situations that unfold. Maybe we handled a situation bad in our opinion. The way we get down and focus on that, it's one thing to remember the lesson, but it's one thing to try to remember the teacher and try to keep focusing on the teacher. Like, I should have done this, I should have done that. And it's cool to reflect. We have to come to a realization that there is no should have, there's no could have. All that is stuff you've done. It's what you did. It's about being appreciative no matter what circumstance you find yourself in, because at the end of the day, that's life. You win some, you lose some, but you have to learn how to see the beauty in sort of the spaces where we lie. Not everything's always going to be beautiful. Not everything's going to be rainbows and sunshine, but if you can't see it outside, you have to bring it from within. It's one of those things. Like if you can't see the negativity or you can't see the positivity outside, that's because you don't have any within you. A man sees in the world what he carries in his heart. A lot of times, it's not about how things are. It's about how you are. Not saying that everything is necessarily attached to our perception, but, most things in regards to how they make us feel is tailored to our perception. It's tailored to how we feel about ourselves and how we relate to the certain somethings within the world. And we are somewhat related to a lot of things, but not everything is necessarily us. How your grades turned out this semester might not be representative of who you are. How your other endeavors, maybe you failed at something, maybe you tried to do a backflip and landed wrong. That's not necessarily inherent to you. That doesn't make you bad. And I feel like all of us pull value in things that we shouldn't. Not necessarily shouldn't, but things that we should less. And that's not necessarily our achievement, but possession. I feel like a lot of people are attached to what they are able to do and what they're not able to do, able to get from what they do. And, at a face value and on a fundamental level, this is a good thing. But deriving and attributing all your self-worth from things that aren't necessarily inherent to you and inherited situations is not always good. I think that it's good to have those experiences. It's good to, you know, be shown times where you're up. But it's not so much important as having that mentality regardless of what happens. It's about being able to be your best at your lowest, in a way, or be good at your lowest. I feel like a lot of times it's not so much that, it's, when people are up, they're up. When they're down, they're down. And I feel like the reason that they come down, the reason that they do that is because we fail to sort of address in our times of happiness, in our times where we're up, how to really capture and embody that feeling. Because in all things good, I feel like everyone's living in their own personal heaven or hell. It's about consistency with our intention, consistency with our mentality, and consistency with routine. And I'm realizing this recently because I just started like my summer routine back up, where I do a pretty heavy workout in the morning, do a bunch of other stuff before I even get my day started, really. And it's not necessarily just the discipline aspect of it, but it's the doing stuff that contributes to me because I'm treating myself like a friend. I'm treating myself like someone I'm trying to help, because at the end of the day, it's always going to be me and me, not necessarily me versus me, me and me against the world. Like I'm taking care of it with myself, me and my mind, me and my body. It's just important to establish these sort of relationships. I mean, once you realize that you're not your mind, a lot of things regards to your thoughts become somewhat more simple to navigate. Like if you realize that your thoughts aren't necessarily inherent to your entire character, because we all have thoughts that are right, we all have thoughts that aren't necessarily inherent to who we are. We feel like don't associate with us. And I feel like a lot of people just hold on to those rather than letting them go. Your mind is a tool that you are supposed to use, but it's not a console. It's not something that we constantly go to about the rationale of how we feel about things. Sometimes you have to feel good about something that's mundane. And I feel like in all things, in all times in our life, we should be trying to feel good about it. Not necessarily saying chasing a feeling, but embodying a feeling. Being on that high vibration of sort of positivity rather than allowing yourself to slip into that negative mode. Because I realize once you slip into that negative mode, it's really not necessarily hard, but it's really dissociative. I feel like we step away from ourselves in our times of aloneness and get so caught up in not necessarily emotion, but in, I don't know, our mind's biased. The world's negativity, I'll say. Because things are either good or bad. They're just the way they are. A lot of things just are. And it's about how you are inside that allows you to pick and choose in a way. And when I say be a friend to yourself, I just mean not necessarily go easy on yourself, but realize you're human too. This is your first time at life. This is your first time being you. And sometimes it takes a while to get to a point where you're comfortable. Sometimes it takes a while to get to you. And when I say a while, I don't necessarily mean just the short amount of years we've endured, but a long time. The quest for self, the quest for finding self is something that's never ending. We have to continue to persevere in that endeavor because it's all we can do. Because you're going to be with you 100% of the time, so you have to make sure you try to get to know yourself. Treat yourself like a friend and go easy on yourself. Realize that, you might not win your first try. And that's okay, and that you shouldn't get discouraged. It's not inherent to your value. You have to learn how to give yourself value regardless of what you're doing. You have to realize that you have value just by existing. Okay? Sorry, these allergies are punching me still. But all that to say, be a friend to yourself. Don't just lie and wait for life to happen in front of you, because when you wait for life to happen, life passes you by. And it's not so much about living life or seeing life, it's about being it. Embodying the best version of yourself and embodying life in a way that you find, characteristic of yourself. I feel like a lot of times in life, we don't hold on to those good feelings. Hold on to that mentality of good. Because it's always a personal heaven or hell situation. It's always an up or down. And I feel like in my best times when things were going the best for me, I already prior to those times had a good mentality about it. And that's what makes it last. That's what makes it continue to go. Not having your happiness dependent on what you're doing, but it dependent on how you are and who you are. And if you made it this far in the video, thank you so much. Really appreciate y'all. I started the podcast channel, so I'm gonna put it on the community tab soon. Probably right after I edit and upload this video. And what else? Get the Discord. It's back active. So tap in with that as well if you so choose. Thank you for watching this video if you made it this far, and those of you who didn't, thank you anyway. If you didn't enjoy the video, I did. I feel like it's very important to sort of talk about, realizing the significance of your own existence in your own life. Realizing the way you interact with yourself and how important it is as it pertains to your own longevity and your own happiness while you're here. So keep being intentional. Keep being great. Yeah. Thank you. And then the last point that I wanted to hit was